wanted to talk about content, Louise. I know you're a big fan of content strategies and content pillars. How do you use content pillars yourself, and how do you use that to, help clients figure out their content strategies?
Yeah, absolutely. So the content pillars, I guess, is something that I talk about with clients. And as we're going through the sort of training, and we're talking about the profiles and how people are engaging with content, and how to build their connections, etc. Once they've kind of established that and they're feeling confident, then they're obviously starting to think about posting more content. And the biggest issue that I think we know about is that people don't know what to post. And I see this in so many pieces of content that are coming through on the platform. It's the biggest issue that people have. It's not the profiles anymore. It's what do I post? So I see so much amazing, helpful content from different people talking about how they can manage their content, how to write great content, etc. And I think that one area that I focus on with customers and that I use myself is kind of how to process and kind of give myself a strategy and a plan. I'm quite process driven. So I find it's really helpful, especially if you're in a busy working environment, that how can I structure my content? So when I talk about content pillars, what I'm trying to do is not create a pillar for every piece of content. I'm just trying to create a few. So maybe like 2 to 5, depending on the content that each individual company has. And then it's thinking about, okay, well, what do those content pillars look like? So for example, it could be one around what are the key challenges that our customers face? What is it that keeps them up at night? What are their really massive headaches that they have? And how are we going to produce content that's going to help and support them? So that could potentially be like one area is your kind of maybe thought leadership or your kind of helpful advice. And that might not be content that you can be producing on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Maybe it's kind of more, how does that fit in then to what we can produce? And what resources have we got? And then a second one might be around, say, company content. So there might be a really big recruitment drive or a focus on employee advocacy. So, how are we promoting what our employees are talking about? How do we talk about, what a great place we are to work? How do we recognize, key sort of diversity and inclusion elements? So that could be another piece. That could be another content pillar. And then it might be potential blogs that are being written. And what it helps people to do is to try and start working out what content they actually have, and then what actually sits underneath each content pillar. So what I'll do with clients is I'll sit with them and say, and we'll have like an open discussion about it as well, which is really helpful. And then once they've got their content pillars, then they can start to slot in where topics sit. So, I've got this blog that I wrote actually about sustainability on office buildings or whatever it might be. Okay, well, that could go into the helpful content because we know that that's a really key area for clients at the moment. Well, we've got a charity event coming up next month. We could all post or engage about that. And then you start to build it up. And what's great about that is that once you've got that in an Excel document, then you can start to kind of try and make sure you're not overdoing it on one pillar. Like sustainability is interesting and obviously key, but you don't want to be seeing it every day. So it's how do you slot that content into a plan and give that variety? And then it's about how do you use the different formats for the content that you've got. So that's kind of how I focus on like content pillars, etc.